create an assigned task. That means somebody in managerial role will know what should be done. We already have strategies in place. We have covered it earlier of our sessions. So we know where we have to go, what end result, that is the outcomes that we are looking for, and we also strategize how to get there. And now we get down to the principle of what tasks should be done in order to get us as individuals, as a department, as an institute, to the outcomes that we have already designated, which is in line with the vision and mission of the institution. So we have to create an assigned task. This can be done once in a while. It can be a repetitive task, which when assigned to a person has to be done every month, weekly task, daily task, or it can be done once in a while, or tasks which are conditional upon certain conditions, external things. If this happens, then this person gets the task. If not, then the task does not exist. That kind of task. Now, we should be able to break down the task into smaller subtasks which can be done all at once or one after another. There are a lot of things, there are a lot of models. And one of the primary work of leaders is that they must be good at delegation. They have to delegate tasks. And if it is delegated to one person, they can sub-delegate it to others. You give it to a department, one task, you have to collect certain things. They sub-delegate it to their teachers, and teachers sub-delegate to their PGs or residents. So all of them work towards their own sub-goals, and the entire big goal is finished. And we should be able to track all this assignment of tasks, sub-tasks, delegation, when it is completing, what is happening, whether it is at risk of stopping, whether it requires resources, why it has stopped. We should be able to track. And this should be done effortlessly. That means you don't have to dig into certain place, ask people, follow. What do we do now? We give a task, what happens to that? The person who has given the task gets bigger task. And that bigger task has to follow up with the task. Have you done it? They will not do it. Then the person will do it themselves. How many of you have done that? Many of us will do that. You give a task, if it is not done properly, then you say that, Hare Baba, leave it. I will myself do it. You take it and you do it so that you are satisfied. This happens all the time. And at the last minute, you will find out that they are not done it, or they have done it poorly. This happens. So we should be able to track it well ahead in time so that we make it at risk. Either we intervene or we change the delegation or we train the person. We take some kind of intervention things. So we have to use Gantt charts. The Gantt charts has to become a standard. So we read it, it is visible, it is there, and sometimes it is on a desktop itself, it is on a dashboard. So we look at it at one glance, we get the entire picture of all the tasks of which you are managers or you are administrators. It might be done by others, but you have to know what is happening. And there are some methodologies which we need to adapt from other industries. There are industries where they use Kanban very nicely, Agile, Lean. But in healthcare, we don't really adapt all those things. But it is high time we have. If we adapt a few of them, it will make our life easier. One of which is Kanban. We will be teaching this for academic management also. So it makes sense that we expand it to project management also. If everybody does Kanban, then everybody has one common methodology by which we get things done. So getting things done through Kanban makes it easy and we can monitor it. Milestones are very important. We usually don't fix them, but now we have to systematically fix milestones so that exactly we know where we are. If we don't know where we are, we will never know where we are headed, how we are headed, whether we are reaching there or not reaching. So we have to know the scientific way of fixing milestones, which is easy. You already do it, but it is systematically using IT tools, putting it in one place. These things have to be done. Now, what does it help in? If we do that, you can say, what is the return? Why should we do that? It requires training, it requires equipment, it requires a lot of stuff. Why do we need that? Because here we can fix accountability. So there is a difference between accountability and responsibility. For example, sir is there, under him, two people are there. They are responsible for executing the job. But if I am the top management, I will hold him accountable for their work. They have to do it. He has to monitor. He is the person who is accountable for it. So we fix accountability at different levels, and then we give the responsibility either to the same person or to somebody else for whom they will be held accountable. We can track all the dependencies. We know that many tasks stop, and we would never come to knowledge that they have stopped. Only the last minute, and that too only after asking they will tell, sir, it is not done because something was not provided. Why did you tell this before to me? They will blink. This happens. This happens in 90% of the organizations. Everywhere this kind of friction happens. So if we know all the dependencies, we can track the dependencies whether they are being done or not. I will give you a lot of examples. If you are building a building, cement has to come. It has to be made available. Only then you can mix it with sand and create it and put it for pouring. If cement has been procured, bill has been paid, but the cement has not arrived, gate pass has not been issued, then this stops. If this stops, everything else stops. So a key procurement has stopped everything else. If we know what is stopping it, then we can resolve it. And we have to know it in time, so that we don't waste time. Similar to that, there are many dependencies that go together or one after another, follows that parent of, child of, depend on, partially depend on. These kind of relationships are there between tasks. So if we use a task management system, we can get a holistic view of what is dependent on what, how is it going, why is it stopping, or if it is dependent on a person, sometimes those people go on leave or they leave the organization or what happens. Sometimes the entire operation collapses and it goes into slumber and we will not know about it. This has happened. Even our organization about 5 years back, there was a section which was looking after a certain particular important thing. And as long as it doesn't fail, nobody knows about it. The person was looking after it went off and nobody replaced it, nobody knew to replace or, and one day it spectacularly failed. Then they understood that it was running without a person for 2 years. It's like a train, when it goes and crashes only, after the crash we find out all these things have happened. So that is a cheese model. In cheese there are a lot of holes, the risk, they put an arrow. So everything sometimes aligns and the risk goes through and the accident happens. So we have to know that dependencies. Central repository. If you have a good project management system in place, all the necessary documentation, data, things that you require will be stored in a central place. We call it central repository. It will be both centralized as well as decentralized. Everybody is free to put in the data in one folder, and then the data flows from there to centralized part. It's not tagged, you can retrieve it. I have been talking about retrieval many times. Collecting data is one part of it. And classifying it, tagging it, and putting it in proper place for retrieval is a little hard. It has to be automated so that it can happen at scale. Once it is all tagged properly, we can retrieve it. I would like to see the letter that arrived on this particular date or in a period between these dates 3 years ago. If I ask, somebody should be able to locate it. And we should not run to our bureaus and then pull it out and look into folders. It will take time. Probably we may miss it also. NAC requires a lot of paper documents. If we take a policy saying that we are a paperless organization, digital documents only will be made available, then we should be able to produce them at a moment's notice. Makes us more efficient also that we can collate everything in different ways to present data in different branches. So that is repository leads to better documentation. Everything will be documented. Every document or any communication that comes to the institute at various level goes out to the institute. For example, any certificate that have been issued by this institute for the past 5 years, there should be a record of it. What happens, most of certificates don't have a tracing number. In departments, they conduct a conference, they will issue their own certificate. They will arrange in some printer or they will print it out in some bit of. In some other department will happen. Nobody knows how many certificates we have issued. Somebody comes and asks, is this certificate issued by Believers Church? You cannot verify it. There is no way of validating it. This is one example. Similar to that, many things happen without proper documentation. You have to bring everything together. Then in the entire institution, top to bottom, whether it is a small certificate as an attendance certificate or it is a degree certificate, all should have a unique number which can be traced of which issued by what authority, whatever, when it was issued, those metadata is stored somewhere. So there is documentation. Now, when we have a proper project management in place, measuring becomes easy. So we know about the goals. Everybody is informed of the goals. Only if the subordinate knows what is the exact goal that you are working towards, they will work towards it more efficiently. They will have a stake in that. Sometimes we fail to communicate the overall goals. For example, NAC is a good example. If you are going for NAC, if your class 4 attender who is sweeping does not know that we are going for NAC, he may not put in an extra effort. His supervisor may push him. Next 2 months you are to work very, very hard, I want everything to be clean. But that person won't know why they are asking me to clean it better. And he won't have a stake. It is his headache, it's the supervisor's headache. He will try to do the same things in the same way and try to hide it here and there. But if you make him a stakeholder, look, NAC is going to come in 2 months. If they give you A grade or higher grade, now A grade is gone. If they give us band 5, we will get a lot of autonomy. We will expand. We will have more students coming in. We can start new courses. We will be growing and you will be part of the growth and it will accrue to you in some form of benefits. You don't have to tell him the monetary benefit or whatever. Some benefits are going to come because everybody grows along with the institution. Then he knows exactly why the supervisor wants everything to be cleaned better. He will put some extra effort in it if he is moved by this goal, if he is made part of it. So those goals and matrices, then we can measure it using all kind of matrices. Matrices is a way we measure anything and everything which should be measured. If I ask today, which square meter of this hospital produces the maximum revenue? If I ask, somebody should be able to tell me, okay, this is a concentrated area, this area produces more, this area does not produce any more. Then we can look at it, can we use that area to create revenue? Or if it's not revenue, academically which area is least used? There may be a lot of areas which are used once a year, which is closed. Can we repurpose them? Can we multi-purpose them? These kind of actions can be taken. It's only when we have data upon which we can act. If there is no data, we cannot act on anything. We will never know. So we have to have all kinds of data so that we can look upon certain things and take decisions. Status study. We take a lot of steps. Ideas come. All of us, bring in ideas, and we have started 100 projects. If you look at that, 99 of them go to what is known as project graveyard. They go straight there. They linger for some time, then they become dead. I mean, half dead, then fully dead. They go to graveyard. Sometimes they come back as zombies. You will again resurrect it. Whenever interest comes, that time that project will be resurrected. Then after 3 months it will die. Then resurrect it again. It will be a zombie going here and there of no use. So we have to know the status of what is happening, track it. And once you finish your project, once something is there, you finish your project, you should be able to analyze it. What went well? You organize a conference or your annual convocation, for example. Once it is finished, they would have 100 things would have gone right. Many people would have worked extra. If you don't recognize them, they will lose the interest. It happens, right? So recognizing people, code of science is one way, but other way is to really, note down exactly what they have done. So that is one part. Similar to that, there are many things that have gone wrong or near misses. We have to retrospectively, we have to analyze so that we can improve upon it, change it, make it better. Those kinds of happen. So retrospective analysis means you have to have documentation. You have to know whom the work was given. Based on accountability, responsibility, we can see if they have done the job very, very well, what level they have done it. Half-hearted, full-hearted, they have put extra effort, they have taken more effort, they have brought in some creativity. All those things can be seen in retrospective analysis. So these are the advantages of having a proper project management system. Okay, now I want to show how it looks like. For example, I will show one or few examples. I can't show everything I have prepared. Okay, now open one more. You must be already using Google Suite. No. Google Suite has a drive, but it is not very efficient. It takes long time, not search efficiently. Sharing things in the Google Drive is very dangerous because once you somebody can delete it. If I share it with Sir, for example, a whole folder, by accident, if somebody deletes the whole thing, it goes away. So it really controls many things. So it's not a very good thing. Enterprise, they don't use it. So we love this software known as Nextcloud. Okay, so I show this software. You can explore on your own afterwards. So this is called Nextcloud Hub. So this is an enterprise scale. So this is an enterprise scale collaboration suite. It has almost many things, just like Google Suite. So regain control over your data. So this is what we use. Even Meenakshi Academy use this to keep all the data in one place for NAC purposes. Collect everything together. Before it was fragmented, it was lying in many people's places, asking it. It was very, very hard. People leave with their own data also. Instead of that, we need to collect everything in one place. Central repository, maintain it through the organization. It should have both centralization as well as decentralization. Everybody will have their own folders, their own stuff. They can also share into other folders kind of thing. So this gives excellent way. So this can be the cloud. So if you see here, no data leaks to third parties. It's customizable, it's scalable. It has a mobile device also, and it's very, very nice. So it's used by universities and stuff all around the world. Most importantly, it is used by public sector. For example, the German federal government, the central government of Germany and French federal government, they use it. They don't believe Microsoft or United States giants because they are very touchy about their data. And education is also something which has a good use case. This is open source. So this is enterprise for the public. This thing you see here. So this is a German federal government. And then this is a French government, for example. This is the Interior Ministry. The French government uses these things to store their sensitivity. Boeing uses this. Boeing has detailed spec sheets for every bolt and nut. They have thousands and thousands of where it was manufactured, materials, quality tests, and things like that. They all manage it using Excel. Okay, this is the excellent one. So open source, so you don't have to pay anything for it. Just request that. So this is what we use. This is our SBV cloud. Okay, SBV cloud is a family of all applications. We have different servers, some 25 servers together. One of that is Hub. We call it Hub because Nextcloud had come up with this thing called Hub. Nextcloud Hub. The product is Nextcloud Hub, which is combination of all these things put together. This groupware file is Nextcloud Hub put together is an Nextcloud Hub. So I have to find using it also. Then we use it in combination with something known as Open Project. Again, this is open source software. I'll show you how it works. Keep forgetting password. I have a password manager. So here is how it looks like. We have different projects here. As you can see, a lot of projects, and I will show you an example. So whatever is repetitive, some of the projects are repetitive. You have an event you do every year. It becomes a project. You can break down the project into smaller pieces. For example, what happens when you are doing a conference? You have committees, right? There is a transport committee, there is a food committee, and the scientific committee. So these all can become sub-projects. And within them, you can have committees, and they can have tasks again created. So you can create a model conference. If somebody comes up with the idea of the conference, what should you do? Who should do what? First set up these committees, and then assign these people to different committees. Those committees have a task already enlisted. Food committee means find out all the food vendors in the vicinity of 20 kilometers or 10 kilometers, call them up, ask them for an example menu. From that menu, create a model menu, ask them for price. These are all tasks. You understand, right? This you can create based on your own experience here. So that will all go here in these projects. This is how it looks like. So in this work packages, you can create tasks. The old one. So you can create what is known as issues, ideas, tasks, milestone. Create, for example, task. Okay. So here is a task. This is the name of the task. We don't have to worry about too much. There are a lot of things here. This is about the task, and I can assign it to one or many people. I can search here, and I can assign it. I can also invite new people from the organization into this. I can hold somebody else accountable or the same people accountable. That kind of thing. And these are for estimation time. How many hours will require for completing this? These are dates. I can put a start date and end date. I can say that this has to start, for example, from 15th to finish date. Just be done by that kind of thing for 11 days. If it is only working days, I keep working days. This is unapplicable. Okay. Sometimes we count days by working days, or I can check this off anyway. So this is, it should be completed. If it is already in progress, then I can say it is already 10% complete, for example. And I can have all kind of categories. I have not put categories here. We can specify categories in other places. Now we have this one, priority as well as versioning. So if the project is a repeat of what we do, sometimes we have to do multiple versions to get it perfect. In that case, we have versioning. Okay, we have version 1.0. The minor change is 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. Major change comes to that kind of way. Priority should be done immediately, as soon as possible, high, low. And if you have multiple institutions, you can assign it that this work or this project is related to this institution. And good practice is that in good institutions, we do whatever we do has to have a goal in mind. Okay, top institutions, if you look at Infosys kind of institutions and all, they have defined their goals at the institutional department of everything. Everything is related to that. If I move the phone from here to this place, I have to know why I have moved it. I should not move it without purpose. It has to have a purpose. Purposeless work is useless, waste of time as well as energy, even if it is a small work. So I say that this is towards this goal, this overarching goal, top goal, or it is directly related to a small goal of the department or personal goal. Everything has to be related to certain work. Okay. So everything becomes purposeful, and we can measure it and we can see that it is done. So we can say that it is related to which NAC criteria. NAC itself has given criteria for us. Whether this project is related to curricular design and development, or is it for academic flexibility, curricular enrichment, feedback system, student enrollment. So this has everything. Look at that. It has everything, almost, it covers everything that the institution is supposed to do. Okay, your clinical also come here. So we can say that this is related to internal quality assurance management or strategic development deployment, institutional vision and leadership. It is associated with these things. Then it can be tracked on them. Under those head, what all activities going on in the institution. If I now ask you, please tell me what is happening about faculty empowerment strategies in 2024. Do you have a plan? Is it underway? Which is going on? What is to be started? When it is going to happen? What is the outcome? Have you measured it? These things will be going on, MU will be doing it, but all of it create relationships. That means it can have a child. If there is another task that has been already created, that can be added as an existing one here, that is added existing, or you can create new relations. These are all the relations. That means this duplicates something else. Something is already existing, you are creating one more duplicate, or it is duplicated by something else. Things like that. You see here. Blocked by, precedes, follows, includes, partner, requires, required by. Okay, so you can put everything together in kind of dependencies. This is depend on that, either in temporal, time-based, whether this precedes that, or follows that, or it requires that kind of relationships. But once you start using it, it becomes very easy for you to understand it. It is just nothing but series of steps that you do, either in time dependent or material dependent, or part of a whole subtask, that kind of things. Once you put this, you can see. Then you can add watchers. That person who is watching need not be involved in any of the work. He can just be a watcher who has access to see what is happening. So this can be a director, it can be IQAC head, it can be somebody else who wants to see what is happening. They may not have any task assigned to them. If the task is assigned to you, it will appear on your own dashboard. My task for today. So once the project management system is entirely implemented, every day you open up your task management software, this one, dashboard, you see what you are supposed to do for today, for this whole week, and for the month. Everything is planned, you know what to do. When you are taking a leave, you can mention the leave is also connected here, so it is pushed back if required, or everybody knows that it is styled because you are on a leave. Long-term leave also, it can be reassigned to somebody else. This can be done quickly. Okay, so this is how a project management system looks. It shows all the latest activity recently created overdue. If somebody has given a due date and it is crossing due dates, you can see why is it overdue. So you need not call the person and ask them. You already know. Okay, once you know it, you can take all kind of steps. You can ask them to submit a report or restart it, or ask them if you have difficulty and resolve it. So summary is there, summarizes everything. Whatever you created task will be shown here. Whatever somebody else is creating and assigning to you, you can see it here. And what others are. Boards can be created. Backlogs. In Agile, backlogs are something that is not done yet. It is in the backlog. So you take, in Kanban, you take something from the backlog, put it under process or under planning. After under planning, initiated. And then from initiated, under process, then towards completion, closed, review. Once something is closed, you have to review it, whether it has been done properly or not, whether the objectives have been met or not. Then it is archived. It's finalized, finished. That's all. So it goes through all that. All the news related to this open project will be in one place. Using WhatsApp kind of these things. When we go to enterprise kind of project management, the news has to be in one place so that we can go back and see. WhatsApp is good for immediate intimation, that kind of thing. It can be connected with this also. But here, the repository will be there forever. So you can search through it. So what happened, when, what kind of things came. So news related to that project will be appearing here. All the time and cost related ones, if you are budgeting it, it appears. Usually in private medical projects, cost and budgets are not calculated, so it may not be. So here are forums where I can discuss all the documents related to this project will be in one place. and meetings. Meetings is very important because all the time we hold meetings for projects. So you can say that this is a dynamic or a classical meeting. You can say set the location, date, duration, and all the people involved in the project will be shown here. So you can simply invite them by clicking them. Okay. You can also invite external people if necessary. They will all receive an invite. They will receive an invite to set the agenda first. Or top down, you set the agenda and say this is the agenda. If you want to add something to the agenda, you can add. Permission of the chair, we can take it up. Okay, that way. So everybody will get the agenda well in ahead of time, or invitation to say, give, send their own agenda. Once it comes in, somebody can validate it. I mean, they can accept it. Okay, these agendas can be discussed. Again, the email goes to everybody that the program has been set. Here is the provisional agenda. Then they come for the meeting. Once they come, we check how many people have attended. Okay, so attendance is already taken here. Minutes of meeting can be added here. You see here. Once it is created, then I do minutes of meeting. Let me see if there are some past ones. This test one. So if you see here, this will be the agenda. There is nothing here actually. Here is the minutes. Okay, so you can add minutes. Agenda has to be closed. Once the agenda is finalized, you close it, then the minutes will open. Okay, once it is. Okay, I accidentally opened. Close the agenda. Anyway, you can put the minutes here, convert them into tasks. So everything is in one place. So you know what the meeting was about, what was discussed, what action items were analyzed, whom it was assigned, who is going to be responsible for them. All those things can be assigned from here. Everybody gets their assignments, and we can track everything. Okay, then it becomes easy. You don't have to come and sit in one place to do that. So it takes some time for this to be done. Since everybody is mostly young here, this should not take a lot of time. This is mobile responsive, so you can do most of these things on the mobile itself. Now, this is open project. Okay, on a higher level than this is for implementation, execution, that kind of planning, ordinary projects, and an administrative head kind of things. For example, the dean, director, vice directors on that level.
Below 80 is young, right?
Yeah.
You said
Yeah.
that only for me.
Below 80 is young. After 80 is middle age. So this lean time is also open source software. This is for planning on a governance kind of level. Okay. We have OKRs. I was talking about OKR. So this is an OKR tool to bring in OKRs, objectives or outputs and key results. So I'll show you one example here. So you have projects here also, but you have a little different. You have these milestones, you have these goals, and then to-dos. Okay, here it's different, where we can specify the milestones, at what time, what is going to happen, and you can specify the goals as well. So here we have to increase the faculty-student ratio. The metric is 1:15 FSR. Can you see that? The metric has been specified. What is the target? You have to see to it the faculty of that ratio. And how we have to do it? This is on track, and 25% has been completed, and our goal is 100%. So you can set different goals. Here, student strength, it stands for 20 marks in NRF. Okay. Here, the metric is student strength is a fraction or factor of NP and NE multiplied by 15, factor of NP into 5. That means experience, teaching experience and professional experience, I think, something like that. That gets 50 marks and this gets only 5 marks. So this metric is composed of that, and this is not yet to finish. And here are the things that has to be done. Somebody has to feed in the data. If they feed it, it automatically shows how much is there, but it's on track. Understand? This is for a higher level. When they say the entire institution is moving towards NAC goals or NARF goals or any other goals that it can be set. Apart from government set goals, we can have our own goals also. So we can track how we are going to measure it, who is going to be responsible, what matrices, what will be the milestones. At the end of 6 months, what should be finished, what we should have achieved by then. After 8 months, what should have, quarter wise, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, year wise, financial year, this kind of things we have to, we will be able to track. We will be able to put it here, and this will be transparent to the top level. They will be able to see. You see here is a whole section for thinking, for creating ideas, blueprints, and then retrospective analysis it is there, and there is a data room for storing all kinds of data. This takes some time. This is an exercise in itself, requires workshops, it requires a change of thinking, and then solidifying project management way of doing things. So nothing is done without documentation. It all goes through this. I'm just showing you a glimpse. So in case if the institution thinks that this is a good way to go, then this has to be adopted in a way